And welcome back. In Colorado, home prices are down. The number of houses for sale has increased greatly. And on top of that, it's taken about twice as long to sell a house in Colorado compared to 1 year ago. The housing market in Colorado has changed drastically over the years. And in today's video, I'm going to share all the details. And by the way, this report is based on a new report from the Colorado Association of Realtors. So I have a lot to share. Let's go ahead and dive right in. Let's first talk about new listings. They actually talk about new listings for single family as well as townhomes and condos. But in today's video, I'm going to focus more on single family houses for the housing market in Colorado as a whole. So for new listings for March, there was 7,628. That's a decrease of 19.9% compared to March of 2022. However, a giant increase of 44.3% compared to February this year. 44% is a giant increase, but despite that, they're still down by about 20%. Also, it's more normal to see an increase of new listings in March, especially compared to December and January and February, of course, as well. Also, what I really like about the Colorado Association of Realtors reports here, of course, is a monthly update they make here. They provide data going back to 2010. A lot of the reports I go over in my videos, they only look back, 2 or 3 years? So it's really great to see levels going back to 2010 here. So when looking at the number of new listings this March at 7,628, this is actually the fewest amount of new listings for a March, looking at pre-COVID levels, going back to at least 2010. So in other words, even though new listings surged by 44.3% in one single month, we're at the lowest pre-COVID levels going back to 2010. So for example, when looking at March of 2018, obviously pre-COVID levels, back then, there was approximately 10,000 new listings. So by my dumb math, that's a decrease of 24% compared to current levels this year. Let's also talk about the number of pending home sales. This is a measure of contracts being signed between buyers and sellers for single family existing houses only. So of course, it excludes brand new construction. So pending home sales decreased by 14.8% year over year, despite an increase of almost 25% compared to February this year as well. What I found to be really interesting regarding these year over year changes here, down 14.8% compared to March of 2022, that decrease is actually the lowest year over year decrease going back to May of 2022. Also, even though we have far fewer contracts being signed right now compared to 2022 and of course 2021, because back in 2021 there's over 8,000 pending home sales. When looking at pre-COVID levels, back in March of 2019 there was just under 8,000, and back in March of 2018 there was actually over 8,000, just like there was in 2017. So not only are we seeing a decrease of contracts being signed, we're also seeing a huge decrease of closed home sales as well, down 18.8% from last year's levels, despite the fact that closed home sales increased by 37.3%. Also, when looking at historical trends going back to 2010, the current number of closed home sales, again, just under 6,000 right now, is well below 2017 through 2019 in March. So for example, during those years for March, there's approximately 7,000 closed home sales each year. Okay, changing gears slightly here, let's talk about home prices in the state of Colorado. So the median sold price as of March was $551,000. Back in April of 2022, it was $600,000. By the way, $600,000 was the all-time record high for the median sold price here in Colorado. And by my dumb math, that's a decrease of 8%. So compared to last year's highs, we're down 8%. However, compared to March of 2022, we're down by 4.2%, despite the fact that prices increased 3% compared to February. So we're seeing some interesting dynamics in the Colorado housing market because even though prices have increased for 2 consecutive months now, they're still down by 4.2% from 12 months ago. In other words, the gains we have in the first few months of 2022 were much higher than the gains we're seeing this year. What I mean by that is that prices are increasing, but not the same rate we saw back in 2022. And that's why prices are down compared to 12 months ago. I also want to provide an update regarding the average sale price to final list price ratio. And I'll explain here because for March, that ratio was 99%. This means that home sellers sold their houses for approximately 1% below their final asking price. Compare this to April of 2022, houses on average were selling for about 5% over asking. Back in May, selling for about 4% over as well. And then June, selling for 2% over as well. So at 99% right now, this is actually the 8th consecutive month where on average, home sellers are selling their houses for below the asking price. But at 99.0%, this is actually the highest levels going back to August last year, when also the ratio there was 99% as well. So here's another way to look at this because the ratio here has been tanking ever since May last year. So the ratio hit an all-time record high, at least going back to 2010, at, what was this, at 104.9% right here. Now it's at 99%. So it has increased for 2 consecutive months, which is interesting because it's no longer tanking like it did for the most part of 2022. Let's also talk about how fast or how slow houses are selling in Colorado. So the median days on the market is at 56 days as of this March. That's an increase of 100% from March of 2022. This means, of course, that days in the market was only 28 days back in March of 2022. Now it's 56 days. What's interesting about this as well, when looking at this historical chart below right here, at 56 days, I'll see there's a giant increase compared to 2022 at 28 days. And also in 2021, it was 36 days. But when looking at 2018 and 2019, during those time frames, days in the market was around 50 days. So houses taking just a little bit longer to sell right now compared to pre-pandemic levels. All right, I also want to provide an update regarding housing inventory in Colorado because that increased by 41.8% year over year. Just under 10,000 active listings, at least as of the end of March. Compare this to April 2022, there was 8,943. This means that the current levels as of the end of March is the lowest levels going back to at least April of 2022. Now here's something wild as well because this March, inventory should be increasing, but it's not though. So as of March compared to February this year, inventory levels actually decreased by 1.8%. Here's something wild as well because the number of houses for sale in Colorado as of the end of March, when compared that to March of 2022, we're up by 54%. So compared to last year, we're up by 42%, but compared to 2021 this time, we're up by 54%. So we have far more houses for sale compared to the past couple of years. However, though, when looking at pre-pandemic levels in 2018 and 2019, we had approximately 15,000 houses for sale. This means, of course, that housing inventory has decreased by about 34% compared to 2018 and 2019. So big picture here, even though we have far more houses for sale right now compared to the past couple of years, we're still down by about 34% compared to pre-pandemic levels. In regards to the month supply in Colorado, it's sitting at a 1.6 month supply. That's a giant increase of 77.8% from 1 year ago when the month supply was only 0.9 months. Back in March of 2021, it was only 0.8 months. Here's something that caught my attention regarding the month supply in Colorado. At 1.6 months, this is still fairly low compared to pre-pandemic levels. So for example, back in March of 2019, there was around a 2-month supply of housing inventory, just like it was in 2018 and 2017, for example. But when looking at these historical levels right here, the month supply hasn't been over 4 months going back to 2014. In other words, the month supply has been at or below 4 months going back to 2015. And obviously this is way different compared to 2010. Back in 2010, the month supply was in the range of 8 to 10 months. With that said, that was a lot to cover in today's video. So here's a summary for you guys. Compliments from the Colorado Association of Realtors here. So new listings decreased by almost 20% compared to March of 2022. A significant decrease of contracts being signed, down by nearly 15%. Sold listings decreased by 18.8%. And again, the median home sold price fell by 4.2%. And again, home prices have fallen by about 8% compared to April of last year, going from $600,000. Now it's at $551,000. Also, the sale price to final list price ratio for March was 99%. Houses on average selling for about 1% below the seller's final list price. 1 year ago, it was 104.2%. So houses selling for about 4% over asking on average 12 months ago. Also, days in the market increased from 28 days. Now it's 56 days, a gain of 100%. And also inventory levels increased by nearly 42%. And the month supply surged by 77.8%, going from a very, very low level of 0.9 months. Now it's 1.6 months. And please comment below your biggest takeaways from today's video. Also, if you guys got any value out of this video whatsoever, then please hit the like button. I greatly appreciate that. Of course, appreciate you. Hope you guys have an awesome day. Look forward to seeing you on the next video.